Good afternoon everybody, and here we are on Monday the 22nd of January 2024 with a General Cruiser. Why a General? Because it's got a 350 early iron block Chev in it. It is coming here for me to build a 2.5 collected back into 3-inch stainless steel manderel exhaust system from the customer's own brand new extractors. However, they didn't fit. I am now tasked with manufacturing extractors. Not my preferred thing to do, but yes, I can do it. Very hard to get the camera up in there. Oh. Up in there's a whole heap of pipe work. And now these ones are a sort of a block hugger. And I'll show you more in a different post when I get them off. They come down to there. And the other side comes down just there between the engine mount, very hard to see, and the starter motor. They are not factory type or easily off the shelf block huggers. Somebody has manufactured them because the engine mounts get in the way, as block huggers do. They fit nothing in particular. Certainly not Landcruisers in this case. The rest of the system, well, that'll be an interesting build in itself. But more about that later. I'll see if I can give you an idea of the lack of room there is in the front. Looking in through the wheel well on the driver's side, that's where the extractors are. I'm not going to try to hold the torch up in there. I tried and I just kept dropping my phone. Not a good thing. And on the passenger side, you come right down there near all of those brake lines. And yep, that's the wheel there, and I'm standing on a bit of a milk crate there, or a soft drink crate. This is going to be a not 5-minute job, and I have got absolutely no parts for it. I have got parts on order. The plates used to be readily available off the shelf, no longer. They're being made. Collectors, mandrel bends, all that sort of thing, not common sizes to be used, so I don't keep them. But they're all coming. This should hopefully not be as difficult as the Triton down underneath, but it will be far more difficult up top because I've got to make everything. I may redesign it to make them into a set of tri-wires so they flow a little bit better and they fit a little bit better. It's going to be invent as I go. When's the last time I actually made a set of extractors? About 1988. Yeah, that long ago. Yeah, I can do it. It's just very, very time consuming. And in a one-man store, trying to service as many people's needs as I can without going overboard, this is now going to be a long-term project, and the customer is aware of that. I'm not going to cut corners on quality. I am not going to build the extractors out of stainless steel. They don't like heat. They get brittle, they break. They also radiate a lot of heat. So it'll be in mild steel, painted, detachable. I've got to think about future maintenance for everything around here, everything around there. I want the starter motor to come out easily. All the sorts of things that can and do go wrong over the course of a vehicle's life. Well, I ordered, parts arrived, here's the extractors for it. Some assembly required. Okay. Because the engine has square ports, and you're trying to make a piece of round tube go into a square hole, doesn't really work. Also, there's very little room between the pipework and where the extractor bolts are, and if I go over it, well, you've got no room. So what I've done, I grabbed some round tubing, cut to length, squared one end, rounded and flared the other, adapters, so I can get great welding on here. I'll be able to do internal welding here and then die grind with some reinforcing on the top and bottom. Yeah, I'm eating a banana. And not worry about fouling up the bolts. Wonder what that'll look like on the car. Probably something like that. I've redesigned them so I'll have top half and bottom half extractors, easy access to anything he wants around here, and I'll worry about the passenger side after I've done the driver's side, because I've got more brake lines and that sort of thing here, and a diff that comes up and down and all that sort of stuff. So there you go, there's just a bit of a poke around at what it looks like. Very much inventing as I go, and I can trim down those pieces of tubing up the top there as I get ready to finish off the welding. I've just got it lightly tacked in place now. I'll now remove it, complete the front half, put it back up, do the rear half, then pull it down and complete it, and then that part will be ready. Then I'll do the front part of the other side over there. Long-winded, but it's not something I do every day. Haven't done it for years really. I've gone ahead and manufactured the upper part of the right-hand extractors. So a set of primaries and secondaries will go on. Ease of maintenance for getting starter motor in and out, doing anything else around the engine bay, like engine mounts, anything like that. Things that normally happen over the life of the vehicle. Here's the previous right-hand set. And they don't sort of fit anything in particular. But now, a much better flowing set. The gases are going to swoop down, other ones will join up there and go down under the vehicle. Better for top end, and still brilliant down low. What you're looking at are 5 mandrel bends, 2 collectors, 2 flange plates, a head plate, and another little short section. Lots and lots and lots of high temperature exhaust paint. It's a 4-wheel drive. The system I built for it's going to be high grade stainless. No doubt this is going to end up on a beach a fair bit. So as that dries, I'll give it some more paint. I've been working on this between jobs, not rushing to get back onto it, and the customer's fine with that. I'm keeping the cost down for labour. He's not paying for think time, just work time. I'd like to thank everybody who's been continuing to watch, especially comment and follow. I watch and read every single comment that is ever posted. Most people that watch the videos are not following the videos. Just a quick update on Jake's Chev powered cruiser. This is the left-hand primary set of extractors, just got to be all finished off. And how did the driver's side go? All up in position, beautifully. You'll see more of this when it's completed. So Jake's Iron 350 Chev powered Landcruiser is now completed. I've done the front extractor, or the extractors, as top and bottom parts of the assemblies. And to show you, leaning it over the wheel, you now have the ability to detach things for ease of maintenance. If you've got to do an oil filter or do brake lines or something like that, you can undo things and get them out the way. This is the passenger side. Similarly, on the driver's side, the top part of the extractors, rear half is joins there, and the front half is there. Well away from the starter motor, which they do not like being hot. From up top, you can see that there is a lot of room there for the ignition leads. They're not fouling anything. Ample clearance to everything there. And yes, I've got the battery on charge. It's just been a little bit weak. Driver's side also, lots and lots of clearance to things, especially the oil filter, which is a regular maintenance item. Lock huggers were really in the way earlier, and they were faulty anyhow and modified. Looking up from under the vehicle now, on the driver's side, you can see, and I will zoom that in a little bit, you will see that is the front half, and back there the rear half of the extractors, and they come back to here. If you've got to get that starter out, that is dead easy now. Maintenance on the left, there's your oil filter. How much room do you want? Lots. Heaps of clearance. Now granted, it does need to have the clutch hose remade, because it just nowhere else to run it unless I run the pipes underneath the oil filter. Not a good idea. A simple right angle fitting on the clutch slave, and there's heaps and heaps of room to go out through there. When I've made the system, I've made it back to these plates, which are an equal distance from the engine, and then everything from here back is 304 grade stainless steel and manderel. These are 2.5 inch back to a collector, collected up to 3 inch. Braced together, and this section can be undone here and there to be dropped out. Because if you need to get this pipe here out of the car to do something around the transmission or transfer case, you're not going to get it out. Well, now you can. You simply undo the flange, and pull the pipe out, or undo that and that and that, and drop that out to get up to this side. Easy. Where it comes back, it is now 3 inch. Up to a very heavy, that is 5mm thick stainless steel, with another piece of 5mm stainless steel that was welded to the pipe all the way around. Then the support bracket was welded to that. A little bit overkill, but I don't care, I want it strong. Retaining the factory mounts in the factory position. Well clear of everything. I've gone for the single band quick release coupler there, and this is one of the XPS high grade 304 grade mufflers that I now have access to. Another big heavy 5mm thick 304 stainless steel flat bar made into the support bracket, all drilled and mounted again to the factory original position. Out of that in more 304 grade, and out through here. Pre-existing holes, and of course just that little down sweep. Now what I've done here, for ease of getting this in and out if he ever has to, it has steel guards. So this bracket here, stainless steel 304, is bolted to that bracket. Just easy to get it out through the hole if he ever has to. Sitting very nicely. Unfortunately, it has an I don't want to start problem. I have had it running and it's beautiful. You will get to hear it, just not in this post. I found a little pinhole in one of the primary ports of the headers, so by the way I've designed it, I very quickly removed from the car, found the hole, which really you couldn't even see it, prepared it, welded it, repainted it and reinstalled them, and just doesn't really want to start. Okay, there we have it. Absolutely not a 5-minute job. A job not rushed one little bit. Done as a tweener. This is the only set of headers that I have made since 1988. It is not my favourite thing to do. But, as you can see, it can happen and be redesigned just a little bit better than this sort of thing. Okay, so there we have it. In just a moment this Landcruiser will be driven away. It's been checked and the customer is very happy, and you get to hear from him in just a moment. This is Jake, and Jake owns that Landcruiser. What do you think, mate?
I reckon Tim did a brilliant job. It was a long process. There was a lot of shit we had to do, or Tim had to do. I'm happy with the sound, I'm happy with how it looks and how much it costed. Tim did a brilliant job. Can't recommend him anymore.
Love it when I can make people happy. You're about to hear it start up and drive up the road. We're not looking for that huge beefy, I want to come and rip everybody's face off sound. You wait, you're going to love it. Definitely a Chev. Thanks, old mate.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Let us know what you think after you drive it a bit, eh?
I will, don't worry.
Going home now to get his side steps put back on. Nothing quite like the sound of an iron block Chev. Alright, a bit of a project that one, a tweener job, so I wasn't on it all the time, but a lot had to be thought of and redesigned around the body of the vehicle. Thanks for watching. I don't really want to do too many of them because of the time factor, but I can help some people for some things for a fair price. Thanks for watching. Friday afternoon, one more car due now, and it's 3:15. It's due in another 15 minutes just for a look. I might have another litre of water. I am melting. Alright, see yous.